Willow Creek Springs presents Healthy Living with your host, Joe Grumbine.
Well, hello and welcome back to the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Grumbine, and today we've got a very special guest. His name is Dan Metcalfe, and this guy is an internationally acclaimed performance coach. He's a keynote speaker and creator of the Total Balance program and the Metcalfe method. This guy's got quite a story, a transformation brain-to-body training system. He survived a catastrophic spinal injury on stage, no less, and later a partial brain death. And this guy rebuilt his life through his own healing approach, rooted in neuroscience, movement, natural health. And he's empowered over 70,000 people worldwide, people recovering from strokes, Parkinson's, to elite athletes. We're going to just jump on into it. Dan, you have quite an incredible story. We just touched on a little bit of my story. And, I think everybody has a powerful story if they reach in and grab it. But man, you've taken yours and done something with it. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. You're reading that out, and I'm like, I want to meet that guy. It's until you hear what you've done, you sometimes forget what you've done. So thank you so much.
Exactly. No, and it's wild. For those of us that are doers, we're busy doing. And when somebody comes back and starts putting a list of the things we've done, you're like, oh, wow, yeah, I did, huh? So it's reach back once in a while. So tell me a little bit about, I like to hear the genesis story. It sounds like you were a performer and you were performing and all of a sudden something really bad happened. Why don't you take us back to that place?
Yeah, so I grew up as an athlete back in England and decided I was no longer going to continue in the athlete world. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. We're talking about soccer, football back in England.
Sure.
So I was going to go into the Marines. I'd done 8 years with the Royal Marine Cadets, and I started taking aerobics to get supple for mountain climbing to go into the Special Forces, which was my goal. And the teacher there said, you should become a dancer. I'm like, a dancer? I mean, a dancer? I'm a man's man. I was training. So she dared me while I was waiting for my papers to come through. So I thought I'd do it for an experience, a laugh.
See if you can, right?
Yeah. Went up there and I got offered a full 3-year scholarship to start in 2 weeks' time. I was very athletic. And next thing I know, I'm in dance class, ballet, jazz, tap, complete. I'd look in the mirror and go, who is this guy? It would have been a different introduction you would have given me, Joe, if I had brought that up. But very quickly, I was able to go into show business. And Andrew Lloyd Webber, who is, for me, the greatest composer of all time.
World famous, yeah.
Yeah, he's brilliant. I ended up playing the lead in his shows around the world, touring. Wow. But a real quick story I'd love to share with the listeners, because this applies to all of us and so much, Joe, for you as well, with your story and what we've shared.
Sure.
I went to see this show, Starlight Express, the night before I started Lane Theatre Arts, which is the theatre school that I went to.
Okay.
Not knowing I could sing or act or anything at that time. I couldn't even dance, actually. But at the end of the show, my dad looked at me and go, what do you think? I'm like, oh, this is incredible. It was like demigods up on stage. I'd never seen this show before. And he said, one day you'll be in that show. And I said, I'll never be good enough. And my dad said 8 words that I live by and did from that day. He said, and this is for everyone listening, the 8 words, somebody has to do it. Why not you?
Perfect. I love that.
I want to share it because someone's going to get healthier. Someone's going to get wiser. Someone's going to get stronger. Someone's going to get wealthier. Whatever your focus is, someone's going to do it. Why not you?
I'm going to take that and run with it. I'm going to borrow that from you. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's my dad. I'll thank him. Jumping forward, I performed in London on the West End, around the world, and I opened a show for Lloyd Webber, which was Starlight Express, the one that I'd gone and seen. Somebody's going to do it. Why not you? I was on stage, had an accident on stage, fractured my spine. I was paralyzed, and the doctor said that you'll be disabled for life. And that was really the beginning of my story. And I have this saying, why be a victim when you can be a hero? Victims sit there and wait for somebody and moan about what's going on. Your situation is that.
Yeah.
And I have this other thought, or not even a thought, something I live by. I don't believe in hope. I do for others. Joe, I hope you have a great day. All your listeners, I hope you're having the best.
Yeah, that's nice, right? That's platitudes.
Yeah. But for myself, I don't believe in hope. I believe in belief, right? It's belief. Hope is a procrastination word. It means you're waiting for something and you're not going to take action. If I
Agreed.
believe, I'll get up and do it. And
You
that's
bet.
what I live by.
I love it. Love it. Well, so far we're walking hand in hand. I love this.
It,
So,
it's
so you got a spinal cord injury. Are you paralyzed or what's your status?
Yeah, I was labeled as paralyzed. Couldn't move my arms. I had tingling in my legs within 24 hours, so I knew there was some form of recovery that could happen, but we didn't know. It took me over 6 months of intense therapy and going into hospital and staying and doing this incredible, what I call incredible limiting progression, because
Yeah.
they wanted me to sign off as disabled because it was cheaper to disable me than it was to fix me.
It's their standard of care. It's their box.
Right. And so I refused. And so I went and got a lawyer. I never sued for money, never anything to that. I just got a lawyer to have the right to see my own doctors
Nice.
and find the right people, and miracles are unleashed.
Agree. I love it.
Um, Took me quite a while to come back. I started coaching soccer because I could no longer perform and they were holding back my workers' comp to make me sign. And, oh, we're sorry. We should have sent the money. We didn't arrive. Oh, we're surprised. And I'm like, okay,
Right,
I've got to
right,
stop.
right.
So I coached from a chair, very quickly became a nationally known coach, head coach on the Olympic Development Program, Nike Coach of the Year, all these things I'm jumping through. This was over a few years. Opened my own sports performance training center where I specialized in movement for athletes, not in lifting to get stronger, but using these exercises because our body is incredible. Our body is made to heal. We're born to heal.
Agree.
We're just numbed down, dumbed down, and we have these walls built for us to stop us moving. And that was my whole philosophy. And then I started training a gentleman by the name of Bob Eubanks. I don't know if you know
Sure.
Bob from the Newlywed Game.
Oh, yeah.
And he was falling a lot. And falls are the number one cause leading to death for people 60 and older. In fact, if you fall, 10% won't make it the next year through
Wow.
the year. And 1 in 3 over 65 will fall this year. So I said to Bob, let me train you. He's living in fear. He's scared to get up in the morning. Let me do what any great training would do. I'm going to strengthen your legs, strengthen your core, strengthen your hip flexors, and you're going to stop that senior shuffle and you're going to walk. Well, within 2 minutes, I knew I was 100% wrong.
Really?
It's not true. Balance and mobility have nothing to do with muscles.
Okay.
Now, this goes against what we've been taught, but that's the beauty of discovery.
Right.
Anyone with a child, and we were all children once, we never went to a gym. Yeah, we never went to a gym to learn to walk.
Right.
It was all from the brain. So I changed my approach and said, Bob, let's retrain your brain to body connection, the proprioception, the sensory, the ability for your pressure points to feel and react from the brain the way that we all did at the height of our fitness. And I'm going to get you back again. In 3 weeks, Bob went at the age of 79 from shuffling, what I call the senior shuffle, scared to get up in the morning, to running 6 miles an hour on a treadmill, running up and down stairs, getting back in, driving his car, back on stage, back on TV that he hadn't done in years. But the biggest change was he was excited to wake up every day.
Good.
The best years are still ahead of all of us if we do the work that we're avoiding.
I couldn't agree more. Wow. I like you. So at this point, like you have healed your body, you're back in shape now. You've gone from you're going to be disabled for the rest of your life to a regular functioning human being.
Yeah, even more. I was racing the Ironman. I was racing bikes. I was back, I would say not the height of my fitness, but very, very close.
I love it. I love it. So
I got Bob going. I created this balanced training system program that is all over the world now. And physical therapy, everyone loves it because I changed the approach. Because if you think about it, we think muscles help us balance. Muscles will make us stronger, have more endurance and stamina, but they don't help us walk. I've got people that have trained that are 85 years old that can leg press 250 pounds, but they can't walk without falling.
Wow.
Right? And I really want people that listening to understand how brilliant you are. All of you, everybody, we're incredible until we stop ourselves from progressing, because we don't stop playing because we age. We age because we stop playing.
Couldn't agree more.
And why is that? Because comfort is the excessive pursuit of sedentary comfort. That's aging, right? Aging is the excessive pursuit of sedentary comfort.
Right. You just sit back and enjoy.
Yeah. And what happens? We decline and retire,
Agreed.
rhymes with expire for a reason.
Yeah. No, it's so true. All of the blue zone people, they have in common community and active lives and purpose. And even if it's just walking up and down your garden, they do that and they love it.
Absolutely. And it's not about being extreme. It's not doing the same things you were when you were 20 at the level,
Yeah.
but you can still do the things that you were doing at 20. You just have to focus on your recovery more
Right.
and your awareness to make sure you're supporting your body. There's incredible things in this world that if we do, and they're natural, most things you don't even have to pay for. It's
Right.
just we've become comfortable not doing.
I've noticed that I call it vitamin J, vitamin joy. Like if you can find something that brings you joy, that puts you in motion, that's your goal. That's your secret weapon. Just
Absolutely.
something you love doing. Like for me, I love fishing, so I can hike up a stream forever and just I don't even feel like I'm doing anything, right? I like working in the garden in my farm. So I'm out there digging shovel, holes all day long because I like doing it. But if I didn't like doing it, it would be a whole different thing. It would be a series of chores to accomplish and be done with. And me, I can't wait to get up and go take a walk around the yard with the dogs and see what needs doing next and get to it.
And you hit it right on, I mean, the nail on the head, right on. I don't tell people to go to the gym when you're aging. I say, do things that you love
Yeah,
to keep yourself young.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the thing about a kid. It's like when you're a kid, time goes by so fast, unless you're waiting for something, then it seems like it takes forever. But you can't wait to get up and do the thing that you want to do, right? You just can't stop thinking about it. You just can't wait. And you get up with glee. I say bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. And I was given that gift. I'm a little kid inside. People go, I turn 60 next year. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'm a 19-year-old kid inside. Can't wait to get up out of bed and go see what's around the corner.
Absolutely. When you wake up in the morning, you've got to be excited to explore the day ahead.
Yeah.
And don't eliminate the things that are so great. I have a program called Born Superhuman. I believe we're all born superhuman. We're just numbed down or dumbed down over time. A baby, when they're born and the umbilical cord is cut, is for the
Right.
first time since conception on their own. You may have a team helping you, but it's still your system. And yet we take on that fight without knowing it. But
When you think about it, you just get out there and do it. Yeah.
yeah, we grow.
It's our nature.
We hit a certain point and we stop believing in ourselves or we accept what we've been told. Why are we expiring at 74, 75,
Right.
70 when our telomeres, our cells, and I know, you've talked about this well, we're made to live over 120 years fully functional.
That's my
Why are
plan.
we expiring?
Yeah, that's entirely my plan. I say 120, we'll see where we're at.
Yeah, and I can't wait. And that's, again, the Born Superhuman program, which it partners with the Total Balance, which I really want to get into and how this
Yeah, let's
came
jump into
about.
that.
So here I am training Bob. I focused on learning about the brain to body connection. I go out on a morning bike ride training. I'm coming back through a security guard gate, and the security guard brought the gate down on my head at around 22 miles an hour.
Oh,
I
geez.
was knocked unconscious immediately. I've got the videotape, otherwise I'd never know, obviously, from security cameras. I hit
Wow.
the ground, already frozen. Back of my head, break the helmet open, hit the
Wow.
cerebellum. The bike comes down on my face.
Ah,
There's blood, but part of my brain dies. I was unconscious for about 3 minutes. I had to learn to talk again, learn to function. But fortunately, I had gone and started studying the brain. Now, nobody was helping me. They're going to put me on drugs. They're going to numb me down. They're going to stop me thinking
Right.
and allow me to sink into my depression. I was
Sure.
putting on weight. I was eating unhealthy. And I was getting worse and worse. And I was looking in the mirror and not liking myself anymore, let alone loving myself, you have to love yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Self-love is essential. It's not selfish. Everyone needs to find self-love in your own beauty.
Agreed.
And so I started studying and really getting into the brain and understanding mindset is different than brain. How we think feeds the brain. The brain doesn't govern us. Our thoughts govern us. And the magic we seek is always in the work we avoid. We don't want to do the work. And so we slow down or we don't do it. And then we look for a drug or we look for someone else to come and save us. But all of us, if we're willing to take the step over the start line, not reach the finish line, if we're willing to step over the start line and take the right action, the results unleash the miracle within to be everything you're born to be for as long as you want.
I love that. It's so far you're speaking truth. All I hear is truth. I love it.
I was fortunate enough to live it. I have this way of looking at life. Everything that happens to us is a gift if we wrap it correctly. I would never be doing what I'm doing today if I hadn't suffered, gone through paralysis, gone through partial brain death, gone through training people that are struggling, understanding their pain. Even if it's different, we're all human and have those same fears. We have and maybe I shouldn't use the word fears because I never feared. It was more a concern of what am I going to do? Like, why me?
Yeah, it's an aversion, whatever you want to call it. It's something in your way.
Yeah. And there are no roadblocks. There's just obstacles.
Exactly. You can go over, under, around them, through them, however you need to.
Absolutely. And it's all education. The more we know, and the brain is incredible. The brain is our power force in life. And when we feed the body correctly, the brain or the directive from the brain, the body will always follow the brain, but the brain can also bring down the body.
Sure. I'm very curious to hear about your thoughts about food because that's a big part of our conversations on the show. And there's not one answer for everybody, but there's some answers that do apply to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we talk quickly about Born Superhuman, I have the 7 pillars of natural health.
Okay.
And they're in the order of the most important. So I'll run through these.
Sure.
And we'll talk about them more another time. But number 1 is oxygen.
Absolutely.
The most important is oxygen. If we don't have it, we'll die because of that more than anything else, bar an accident, obviously.
Yeah.
And oxygen has so many different ways to affect us emotionally, our sympathetic, parasympathetic systems, but we never are taught it. And if we did, we'd have a better emotional state. Our heart rate variability and everything from that would be better. Number 2, and this is probably the easiest to fix, is hydration.
Sure.
Everyone talks about it, but 75% of adults in America are in a dire strait of dehydration. Right? They call it a chronic state because we're not feeding the body the liquid it needs. We're drinking dead water. We're drinking dirty water. We're drinking sugar drinks. We're drinking all these other things except what the cells need.
Right.
When we tap into that, it automatically will begin to increase our health.
Agreed.
Number 3, sleep. Sleep is critical. If we don't sleep, the brain can't function properly and the body doesn't have time to heal. And if we have sleep problems, it's normally because we're not feeding the brain correctly rather than an actual other issue.
Makes sense.
Number 4, to your point, nutrition. I put it number 4 in the list because we can go 40 days without eating and still survive, but we couldn't go 40 days without sleeping.
Not at all.
And on your point of food, I have one word that changed my life. It was so simple. I went through, obviously, my brain injury, my partial death. I went through putting on a ton of weight. I went up to 225 pounds. I'm sitting on the sofa. I'm comfort eating because I'm depressed.
Right.
And it was doing everything I shouldn't be doing. But I thought, well, at least it makes me feel better.
Right.
But I had to hit rock bottom to discover the path to the top of the mountain. So, Joe, what do we do when we're hungry?
We look for food. We find it. We eat it.
Exactly. So what is that? We're hungry. There's a bag of potato chips. I'll grab it. I'm a little thirsty while I'm eating. I'll grab a soda. Or there's a cake, a cookie, all these different things. That was what I do. I'm hungry. I'll eat. I changed one word. Now, instead of when I'm hungry, I eat. When I'm hungry, I nourish.
I love it.
Change the word eat to nourish. So when I looked at food, Joe, I'd look at that bag of cookies that I used to be able to devour without stopping. And I'm
right there with you.
and boy, did I love it at the time. Yeah. Now I look at it and go, I don't even buy them anymore because I'm not attracted to them because I'm looking and going, that apple looks great. I didn't to begin with, but I said, I'm going to make the change. And like I said, the magic we seek is in the work we avoid. When I was willing to do the work, everything changed. So when it comes to food, and feel free to ask questions, but I am a huge advocate of eliminating processed foods, getting rid of the sugars, giving the body what it needs, no different than we're willing to charge a phone so we can communicate, but we're not willing to charge our body to communicate the cells together.
No, I totally agree. I've been on a huge, about an 8-year transformation. I was about 221 pounds too. And I went down a road that caused me to change the way I see food. And then when I, got approached with cancer, it's a whole nother world. So my diet is ridiculous to most people right now, but it's the thing that keeps me alive. It's the thing, everything matters. Everything I put in my body matters. So I don't mess around with one bite.
Hi, this is Joe Grumbine, and I wanted to share an update. The platform that hosts this podcast has made some changes to the subscriber settings, and we have a number of subscriber-only episodes that we offer to the supporters, and for a minimum of $3 a month, we can get you signed up. And if you're already signed up and you're having some kind of trouble locating these episodes in the other platforms, I would say maybe the best answer is to unsubscribe and then resubscribe. I'm sorry for the hassle. I don't have any way to make a change, but I'm very grateful for all the support. Thank you.
And you're 100% again, we're on exactly the same page. We've become comfortable with food because we grew up with it and we have certain taste buds. But when we change certain taste buds, our body adapts to what we do.
Really quickly. It doesn't take years. It takes a week or a month. And all of a sudden you start craving different things and especially when you do it with purpose. So, with me, I did it with purpose first and then I felt it, but I was going to do it whether I liked it or not because I wanted the result and I knew I would get it, or at least I believed I would. And when I started getting it, eventually, not even that long, all of a sudden, those things that I used to crave. Now, granted, I still look at a piece of bread and go, wow, that'd be pretty tasty. And every once in a while, I'll give myself a piece of bread. But the way I was before, I'd eat, 4 rolls and not even think about it, eat a box of cookies or eat, whatever the thing was. It wouldn't matter. And now, processed food, fast foods, I don't even consider them as food. I don't even look at that and say, wow, I would eat that, I mean, we make all of our food from ingredients that we know where they come from. We grow a lot of them. I don't even trust the vegetables I get in the store most of the time, we just grow them, go all the way.
It's a beautiful thing you're doing. I look at it and say, we have a filtration system in our body that's been there, it's made. But the reason that these foods are so bad for us is they swamp our filtration system, no different than if you have a gutter and it gets filled up with leaves, the water's going to overflow and cause damage. If we don't clear the leaves out of the gutter, we're going to destroy the whole building eventually as the water gets in and it rots. If we're putting the wrong things into our body, our filtration system gets overloaded. We no longer have the resources in the body to get rid of that slice of bread that you had that tasted good. There's still some good things in bread, but the things that aren't good, we can't get rid of it if we're overloaded. So we have the freedom to have moments of change, but it can't be our consistency. Otherwise, it overloads us. We can't move.
Totally agree.
So that was number 5. That's right. Number 5 is exercise. Exercise to me is so critical. I think brain is movement is the brain. When someone's in a coma, the first way we know they're coming out is there's a movement.
Movement, yeah. Or something, yeah.
And the neurochemicals that are released from movement, exercise, it doesn't have to be a gym. There's people that are living 100 years that have never stepped foot in a gym. But if you love the gym, do it. If you don't go do something.
Keep moving, yeah. Exactly.
And then number 6 is what I teach first, even though it's 6th in my list. That's mindset. If we have the wrong mindset, we won't stick to the things that mean the most to us. Now, the most valuable thing we have in life is time. Because when time is gone, everything's gone. People say my family, my kids are most valuable. Well, time is the most valuable. What you do.
You only get it once. Every day
Yep.
you get 24 hours and it's gone.
Yep, absolutely.
No refunds, no returns.
And what you do with your time shows what's most important to you.
100%.
And so if you really want what you say you want, commit the time. We don't have a limitation of time. We have a lack of discipline of time.
Agreed.
And when we can put those together, that's why I teach mindset first. And because of my own brain injuries, I can actually help people rewire their brains to get the most for them. I call it mindset training. But we can rewire the brain with the synapse that's been built over time to be autonomic and our go to our subconscious. And we can change it. It doesn't take long, and it changes the way you see life.
Well, it makes perfect sense because all the other pillars are things that you can know, but you have to do. And it takes discipline. It takes energy to decide to do them and to actually do them, and to say, I'm going to make 6 changes in my life or 5 changes in my life at once. Nobody will do that. But if you train yourself, like I tell people, you got to learn how to learn. You got to learn how to find those answers, because your answer is going to be a little different than the guy sitting next to you, but you'll find it if you learn how to do that. And that's what you're doing is you're teaching people how to learn and execute.
Yeah, and you've got to become comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yes, huge.
And that's huge.
I live for being uncomfortable. Throw me into a spot I don't know how to get out of. I tell people the thing I do best is a thing I probably never did before, or getting back up after I got pushed down.
Yeah, and Eleanor Roosevelt is one of my favorite ladies when it comes to the inspiration. She said, refuse to take your place by the fireplace.
Yes.
Always remain curious. Curiosity is essential for living life. So when you wake up, don't be scared of things, be smart of things, right? So if something's a little challenging, be curious, go do it, but don't do it blindly. Research, learn, understand, engage in it, and take the challenge, which goes up to my last pillar, number 7, which is critical. It is challenges. If we stop challenging ourselves, we sit down and we expire.
Yes.
And challenges can be very simple. It could be doing something I never thought I'd do again, but I'm willing to work towards it. It could be I want to go study. My mother got her doctorate at 50 years of age. And instead of sitting back and saying, okay, I'm going to slow down, she had curiosity and took action. And in fact, one of my favorite stories going back to Total Balance Company, my mother had a stroke at the age of 79. And I went back to visit her in England because I live in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And it was her 80th birthday. And she pulled me into the room with my brother and sisters and said, look, I had a stroke a year ago. I said, Mom, you're doing great. I said, I noticed you're moving. So I hadn't seen her in 4 years. I said, I see you moving slower, but we naturally think it's just because of aging. Right? Which is so wrong. Anybody that thinks they're getting worse because of age is 100% wrong. It's because what we're doing at that age.
Absolutely.
So I said to my mum, well, what's the hardest thing? She goes, I can no longer line dance, which was her freedom. She still works as a doctor, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. It's incredible. So I went back, got this training system that I used with Bob Eubanks, which was about brain to body connection, that then I used for myself and trained over 70,000 people. And I came back and made another one and sent it to my mum. 5 days later, she went back to line dancing because we reconnected the body with the brain. What's even better, at 84, 5 years after she had her stroke, she did her very first ballet class ever in her life, which was always her dream. And she rode a bike for the first time at 84, 5 years after the stroke. And she's doing great. I mean, she's an incredible lady.
I love it. You know, I think there's one little piece that you can even go another step with that. If you take a challenge, each challenge, and you find some way to push a boundary that you've never pushed before and go a little further than you've ever been in something, it doesn't matter what it is. Just find some way that you go, you know what? I'm a better person today than I ever was because I did this thing I could never do before.
Absolutely. And I think, when you take a look at those challenges and taking them on, I always like to tell people, tell me what your goals would be if you were the age you feel. Because everyone says I feel 20 years younger than I actually am, but my body is aged. So tell me, what is it you'd like? Now you know what your challenge should be.
Right.
And if you do that, the best memories should always be forward.
Of course.
Go make the memories.
Yes, 100%. Wow, I really like the way you think. As I suspected, we probably barely scratched the surface of this conversation. I would love to have you back on the show, but I want to make sure I give you a chance to wrap your thoughts up, and we can go another 10 minutes if we need to. But I just want to make sure that you see it coming so we can give you the chance to guide it to the end.
Yeah, thank you. We could go on for hours. I got so many stories and so much success, and I've trained again so many people. But what I'd love to do is anybody that's listening, everybody that's listening, you are greater than you're living, and you're everything you feel that you are. It's so important. We say there's always more to me. Why didn't anybody else see that?
Yeah.
Well, it's not their job to find you. It's
No.
your job to find you. We become our environment, and the most important environment is the one that we create inside.
Right.
Now, if anybody has balance issues, mobility issues, or knows somebody, it will rob you of living. I can help fix that. I can take that. I've never had somebody that I haven't been able to help, from Shirley MacLaine, which everyone will know, an incredible lady.
Sure.
When I trained her at the age of 86, because she was shooting a movie to go back out, or Olympic athletes that are world record holders that I've worked with, to people 100 years old that haven't walked for 5 years, back walking unaided again.
Love it.
You have a problem with balance or your mindset or your health, we can do this. With you, Joe, with myself, with everyone, we need to have the right programs and the right information. There's a very quick story that I'll finish with, and I'm not going to tell the whole story because it goes on. I got to the top of a mountain one day, and I wasn't sure I was even going to get there. I didn't want to. I wanted to turn around. I was done. But a voice inside said, keep going, get to the top of the mountain. And it's a much longer story. But when I finally got there, I wasn't like, yes, I got to the top of the mountain. Aren't I great? I was numb. I didn't want to be there anymore. And I was turning around to go down the mountain, and a voice came in my head. And this is for everybody. If the pilot light is still on, the flame can be immense. I'll say that again. If the pilot light is still on, the flame can be immense. If you're listening to this or watching this podcast in here, and Joe, thank you so much for letting me host you. I love what you do, and I love your story. If your pilot light's still on, your flame can be immense. Take action. Don't waste time, and live the life you were born to live.
Wow, I have very seldom been in complete harmony with the guests, but we're walking the same walk, and it's a different experience. But I agree wholeheartedly with all the points you bring, and like you said, there's so much more to talk about. But the key is, how does somebody get a hold of you if somebody's going to listen to this? Go, man, I got to meet this guy. How do they reach you?
Thank you. Yeah, I have a book called Born Superhuman that you can get on Amazon. That's kind of an introduction to the change of life. My website is bornsuperhuman.com. And then for the balance training, which again is phenomenal, and I urge anyone with issues to please go there, go to totalbalancecompany.com, and you'll learn all about it, the testimonies. Every testimony is true. If it's not true, I won't say it. That's why we agree so much, Joe. If it's not true, this is not to sell. This was never created to sell. This was created to help Bob Eubanks, and it changed thousands and thousands of people's lives, no different than it can change anybody's.
Well, I think the fact that you overcame what you did and took with it what you did and did with it what you did is what we have in common in some way. And I think when people take an adversity and transform it into a superpower and help other people with it, that's what living's all about. So I thank you for the work you're doing. And I certainly would look forward to having you come back on in the future to go deep into any one of these topics.
I would love to. Thanks, Joe.
Excellent. Well, this has been another episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. I'm your host, Joe Grumbine. I thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you next time. This has been another episode of the Healthy Living Podcast. We produce this show so that people can share their stories, people that have overcome obstacles, people that are undergoing obstacles. We're building a community of health-minded individuals. If you're interested in supporting the show, please leave a review on the platform you're listening to it on. If you're interested in becoming a guest, please send an email to itsjoegrumbine@gmail.com, or you can send a note into the notes section of the podcast. All right. Well, thank you for supporting this show, and we hope you've enjoyed it.